G'day, Len.
Yeah, look, I'd just like to stop you there, mate. Look, I've just taken all I can over these fuel prices. You know, I'm not one to go off in a misplaced diatribe, but I will. I've walked to the top of Mount Buninyong with a thimble full of diesel. I've had to knuckle buttock to Warren Heap to restart the mower. I spent 5 days, days 5, uninvited potholing, trying to get the scooter out of Black Hill Lookout, and my sphincter's so taut I could drop a drop of coal. And you know where that's going to end up. When is Prime Minister Ken Brumby going to make it possible again for the great unwashed and me the right to pull into any garden variety servo and saying as an Australian, fill me up, Junta, I'm not paying?
I agree, Len. I agree. I have seen people in Sebass running their children to school on sebum. I've seen Dunstown residents distilling acne. I've seen people from Beaufort running with the whippersnipper full of Californian poppy oil. I have seen this week Sir Ralph Richardson dug up and squeezed for his good lines in Good Morning, Captain Ethelberry.
Oh, look, I remember when all I had to do was rub a chamois down Ralph's back, lick it, spit it on me bloody carby, and that got me to scrint therapy and clunes. No questions asked.
Oh, look, I remember as kids we used to run through the diesel sprinkler. Like, sure, given there was a bit more coughing around the slip and slide, but that's what summer was all about.
Of course it was.
You'd turn on the Texas T-holes and you'd squirt Uncle Frank right in the rolly, and Mum would chuck a snag at him. And then we'd all sit around a big bowl of rissoles dipped in tar and recite the Bingo Patterson Ode. My Cootamundra balls are black, like a rissole dipped in tar.
But, you know, who can afford that these days? Just recently, this week, I wanted to go up to Sydney, catch David Williamson's newie about the early 20s Australian vaudeville scene, you know, starring that Queer Eye for the Straight Guy, Carson Daly.
Oh, what's that called? Sentimental
Poke. All I wanted to do was hear, you know, Carson knock out the Cockney rendition of the classic, you might have heard it. Here he comes, it's the likeable poofter. He'll give you trousers, and he promises to try not to stick one in ya. But because of Prime Minister Ken Bloody Brumby, I can't sit delighted, enraptured even, with the talents of this Terpsichorean trouser bandit.
Yeah, well, what was the musical like?
Yeah, it was a bit gay.
I know! I wanted to go and see Indiana Jones in the Search for the Old Woman's Trust, but by the time I'd caught and squeezed an Arab, he'd found it.
Of course, this doesn't just affect the world of light-hearted entertainment. There's also the world of eating and breathing. Sure, a tale of New York sluts going about their business is a joy to us all, but it's not much good if the ambulance can't save us from the strange new organ disorder that started eating away at us from the inside out before the freaking thing can get there.
I remember when you ran out of fuel, you could go up to Casualty and get a litre. Look, Glenn, what is driving these ridiculous prices? Is it crazy Muslims? Prime Minister Ken Brumby's new album, Solar Arsehole? Or do you think, in all bloody honesty, it's just a bunch of money-gouging pricks too gutless to dig a bloody big hole in Antarctica to squash the seals in?
Well, you know, you might have seen Prime Minister Ken Brumby's on the back foot again this week. The obvious alternative to the rising fuel prices, as he's already pointed out, is public transport. But many commuters have complained about the lack of personal communication. Mr Brumby's hit back with a new campaign, and we've got the jingle. We'll give you jolly good transport, we'll give you jolly good transport, we'll give you jolly good transport. We'll wank you on the bus, we'll wank you on the bus, we'll wank you on the bus. We'll give you jolly good transport, we'll give you jolly good transport, we'll give you jolly good transport. So come and sit with us. You know, it's I think it's called Operation Hand Relief, and it starts in Julie.
Petrol prices. Are they? Should we? Can it?
Shoulda, woulda, couldn't, didn't.
I'm nonplussed. Scheme Len here. I'm reading just out of Bairnsdale, which suggests we should go back to horses.
As transport.
Yes, apparently you can just stuff them in your tank. They're cheaper than chickens and softer than cushions, to quote Chairman Mao.
Well, yeah, but how many Clydesdales can you whip into a pound of mince on the Geelong Road before people start to stare?
So that takes me back to when I got my first licence. You were given your own satellite by the government. You'd ring up a girl and you'd say, I've got the new Archie comic with Veronica and her horse. Would you like to meet me down at Herb's Hamburger and Disco Value Centre for a quick burnout?
Back then, GPS used to stand for Get Pissed, Sister.
Yeah, but what about Bathurst, mate? What about Bathurst in the 70s?
Oh, it's never better. Rocky come out of Conrod Strait, crashed the Commodore into Alan Moffat. You know, it's a bit of a tradition. He's a yank, Alan Moffat. Enough said. Yeah, but then he'd roll out in the flaming jumpsuit with "Get a Marlboro Up Here" written on it, lit up like bloody Graham Kennedy's secret dude. He'd walk over to the Moff and say, "You got a light, Alan? It's time to pump the fans. Fan the flames, or more to the point, flame the fans." Alan took all this in good cheer, and they get up, stand on the dais with the pressed hams to obscure Jack Brabham's view. They like that. They had a Bowser each. They give the crowd a burst of diesel and set fire to them. And they took it all in good charcoal.
Yep, and then Max Merritt would jump up, put his eye in, and punch out a version of "Rock and Roll, I gave you the best years of my wife." And that's more flame than "So You Think You Can Dance." But Len, look, mate, I believe that we grew healthy out of that. Healthy kids with straight eyes and teeth.
No doubt.
Yeah. Not like these rickety lads getting about sniffing Mortine. Back when we were boys, your mum would give you a brown bag of Valvoline and you'd play John Laws with your mates until Walt Disney came on with a cartoon about some sort of Negro frog going on an adventure with Alice Cooper.
Turns out it was B.B. King.